going on? RGIJ is back, baby. Who joined the Navy is now understanding. You know, we always talk to him. He's going to graduate as an E3 because he did college courses first. But one thing he wrote to us in the letter was like, I got paid. He said, my bank account looks real nice. And I'm like, you see? Because you know, when he was here and he was working little side jobs, he was EDC tickets, $300. You know, he was doing things that he liked and he loved. He would buy soccer jerseys, shirts, and everything. But then your bank account is almost to zero. Right. Then your boys are like, yo, let's go to Halloween Horror Night. Oh, I can't go because I fucking wasted my money on a $300 soccer jersey. You know, instead of being smart and just keep building my money. Now he's understanding that. Because now, after that, he's going to go to training school. And then guess what? You need a car now. Because you never thought to buy yourself a little hoopty before you joined, and now you're fucked. Now you're going to need a car, so what are you going to do? You're going to start saving money for a car. Guess what comes with a car? Insurance. Because your parents are not going to keep you on the insurance. You're 18. You're grown up. You're on your own. Okay. So now you got to pay for your insurance. Oh, but how are you going to communicate with mom and dad? You need a cell phone. Guess what comes with a cell phone? A cell phone bill. How are you going to eat? You got to go grocery shopping. That's another bill. You know what I'm saying? So now he's starting to realize, fuck. Yeah. But he tells us, I'm grateful for you guys always telling me, staying on top of me, you know, trying to teach me the value of the dollar and everything else. So it definitely is setting him up. And I'm grateful for him that now he's realizing it. And it's not too late. He's only 18. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he's already understanding. Whereas when you and I joined, like you said, 18, 19, and when I was in Germany, my first base, I saw fucking 19-year-olds driving around in Beamers or Benz, the old school Mercedes Benz. And I'm like, dude, you're an E3. How the fuck are you driving with a 1998 BMW or a 1998 Mercedes Benz? I'm an E1 and I have no car, but I'm like, dude, how is he rolling like that? You know what I'm saying? But then they're the ones who in debt. They owe mad money because they put it on this card or that card. Their fucking credit is fucked up because they just wanted to splurge because they saw the dollar checks. Oh, it's my money now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to depend on nobody, so I could do whatever I want to do with my money. But now with my nephew, we tell him, you know, just continuing to be smart about it. Yeah, you're getting paid, E3 paid now. Just let it build because you really have no bills. You don't have a home or anything like that to worry about. Just let it keep building up and then start managing your money right. See what's priority. You need a vehicle to get around to go to work and everything. So now that should be your first priority. Focus on getting yourself a vehicle. Don't get no luxury. Don't get a brand new car. Get a nice little hoopty here and there just to get you around from point A to point B until you get yourself settled in. And then from there, you know, you'll progress from there because once you start making rent, you go to E4, E5. That means the check's going to get higher. So then you can start being like, okay, let me get a new car. Let me buy this. Let me buy that. You know, so... But it's funny because I get his letters and it's just like, I'm getting yelled at. The drill instructors are yelling at me. So they made him a squad leader because he's an E3. So he's like, man, these fucking kids will keep acting up. So instead of the drill instructor yelling at the fuck up kids, who they come to? The squad leader. Yep. So they say, yo, this is your squad. Handle fucking business. And he's like, man, I can't deal with them. he's like, it's mostly the whites, not the minorities. He's like, me and the blacks or the Hispanics, we're all good recruits and everything. He's like, but the white ones, he's like, man, they be fucking everything up. But I just, me and my brothers like, because, you know, we've been there, done it. We've had our fair share of fucking soldiers that were getting screamed at, yelled at, and everything else. And it reminded me of like when I went to basic training. Like, what was your worst experience in basic? You had any worst stories in basic training?
Yeah, man, we had these two dudes, man. I think there's three of them that come to mind. We had one dude, man. His name was Staff Sergeant Perez. So again, I have a shitty memory, but these dudes just live in there. They just live in here rent free.
Yeah. They left that impact.
Yeah,
that imprint.
There's one dude named Staff Sergeant Perez, man. I think he got kicked out, but he was a TI. What he would do is while we're like in formation or while we're at attention. He would go behind an IT, like he would go behind a drill instructor's back and start making faces at them, and he would just say stupid shit. So we could just to fuck with us, because we would start laughing or whatever. And then as soon as you smiled, the dude would just be on your ass, and he just set you up. So he enjoyed fucking with us. So that's why it always made me laugh because he would just set you up. He set you up for failure just to get you screwed at, like yelled at, and he thought it was hilarious.
Fucked up. Yeah.
And so like everyone else thought it was funny too, but until it was your time to get like until you got busted, right?
Right.
Then we had two other dudes, man. I think Staff Sergeant Fisher and Staff Sergeant Perez, man. Another or Garza, I think it is. They were just two like security forces dudes. And they were crazy as fuck. Like they were just like in the newspaper for being like real PT studs. They were just crazy aggressive. And the reason why is because like we would have an inspection, and I think one of them looked at me and he was like, "I want this floor shinier than a dick in the moonlight." And it was just like, "What the fuck?" Like what? Like, you know, it's one of those ones where you're like, "Yes, sir." Like you like,
Yeah.
But you, after he left, you're like, trying to process it. Like, did he just say that? Like, what does that even mean? You're just like thinking about things and like he was just, you know, they just do wild shit to you. And
Yeah.
so this is like what 04. So this isn't like where it was crazy. Like I heard it was like crazier before, but it was still it was a little bit toned down. But it wasn't like, okay, hey, I need this, right? We didn't have that access. Like it was natural for them to wake you up and kind of just fuck with your shit all the time. And just like what I did is I kept my locker clean, and so I just lived out of my dirty bag. Because they never checked it, so if clothes were wrinkled or you know your PT gear like that, no one cared.
Yeah.
I would just leave like a facade, right?
Yeah.
And just like I don't care about dirty clothes at this moment. I could care less.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So. What about you?
So we had so I was part of the latrine detail. So you know how you have the latrine queen, right? So we were trying to go for honor flight, and you know in honor flight they do a lot of inspections. So my latrine queen was like, nobody's using the bathroom unless you sweat it, you ran, or you really need to use it. He was like, but we ain't cleaning that shit. We already cleaned it. It's good past inspection. You know, the TI did his run through and everything. He was like, nobody's taking Yo, there were days we would go like 3 days without showering because we didn't want to fucking mess up anything. Yeah. So we would do like, you know, the normal shave, brush your teeth, and that's it. Dude, the end of basic training, we failed on our flight. We didn't even get it, so we didn't even, you know, we did all that latrine, like, don't take showers or nothing for whatever. And then I had the other time, I had a staff sergeant, T.I., he was a Spanish dude, and we, you know, community showers, everybody showers together, and it was, like, towards before graduation. So I think it's, like, 10 heads into the community shower. And dude, we're halfway. Like, you know, there was no timing. It was just like, you know, try to shower as quickly as you can, get out so the other person could come in. But you know, it was towards the end, graduation, so everybody's relaxed and everything else. All of a sudden, the fucking TI comes in. He's like, "Everybody, get out! I need a shower." And we're like, "What the fuck?" Yo, I got soap everywhere. Everybody still got soap. Some people got shampoo, and you know, yes sir, dude. We all come walking out of there, half shower and everything, just because he wanted the shower all by himself. I was like, you mother... And, dude, we had some that will get washed back. Like, they were at the last week, they fuck up, they get washed back. So this one guy always caused problems for us. Always caused problems. Where the TI was like, you fuck up, the whole bay fucks up. So, dude, I felt kind of bad because we, like, sort of set him up. So, you know, if you're doing dorm guard, where you're watching the door, you know, the thing was you couldn't let the TI come in. If the TI came in, you fucked up. That was your ass. You know what I'm saying? So we were coming back from chow, and, you know, if the TI is coming up the stairs, you're supposed to say, you know, make a hole, you know, move to the side, TI coming through, TI, announce. You're supposed to announce. We knew he was watching the door. We didn't fucking announce shit. So when he looked, he was letting people in. He looked, and he said, "Oh, shit, the TI." He went to close it. The TI grabbed the door and was like, dude, that kid got washed back again. But we had to get rid of him. Yeah. We had to get rid of him at the bay. And I love the child runner. You remember child runner go? Yo, we had the quickest child runner ever, man. When it was like time for lunch, child runner go. He's like running like the Flash, man, because wherever he got in line in, that's where your flight ate next. Right. So if he was first, second, you knew you were in there next to grab all the good food and everything. Because if you were last, you were eating barely anything because then the TIs were like, food down, trays down, everybody fucking go back. But dude, as soon as you heard it, all you saw was fucking just wind, just smoke. And we're like, go chow runner, go chow runner. Oh, I love basic training, man. Basic training was so much fun for me.
Yeah, I think my, you know, the last day when the TI kind of talks to you and your parents and kind of gives you advice, you could tell he had no idea who the fuck I was. He was just like, he just kind of like, yep, cool. It's just like, I just was quiet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't fuck up. I'm not in charge of anything, you know. I think I had one job and I got fired, and that was after that. And then after that, I just chilled and just did what I was supposed to do. And just never made a scene. So like, he just came to me. And was
Did
just
you
like,
ever do dorm guard? Were you ever dorm guard? Or
Yeah, I did
anything?
it. I did dorm guard. So I did.
Did you
that,
get
so.
put like for the flight behind you? So they put me as dorm guard for the flight behind me, and then we would talk like we felt high and mighty because we were like a week ahead of them, and we're like, "Oh, you guys got to get ready for this and
I think it
that."
was,
Like we try to mentor them.
So it's your last week, and you're handling fourth week guys. So you're kind of like that guy.
Yeah.
What was for us is the guy we had where his flight, he ended up getting his hat right. So the next flight he was doing, that was his flight. So I knew who he was, so he was nice to us. Because we're kind of had that bond where he got his hat through us, but now he's a TI, so he would come in and be nice to me, and then fucking just wreak fucking havoc in the shop, and it's so funny because like, and I think people don't understand, like, you are like, as us as human beings are some of the most, man, we have no problem shit on the lower people, because if you put somebody, I think it's like week 3 or week 4 in the Air Force, where you can do different duties, right? You can go to like chow hall, and so like you would be those guys who you'd go and you'd do the clothing section, right? Man, I've never seen people treat other people like shit until they know they could. Because it'd be like, get your shirt, hurry the fuck up, and you just throw shit at them. It's like, dude, they're 3 weeks behind us. Like, we were just there a couple weeks ago, and you're over here treating them like pure shit.
My laundry monitor was like that. He was like, make sure your fucking laundry bags are under the post on your bed post. I'm coming around. If they're not there, you're not getting laundry done. You're like, fuck, bro.
Yeah,
like,
man, people
fucking relax.
But the craziest thing, though, honestly, is if that, I think, is the easiest place where you can see men sit down and piss. And it happens like the first or second week really fast, where they get the latrine queen. He gets fired, more than likely. And the new person comes in and is like, all right, none of that shit. No more standing up peeing. Everyone sits down. I don't give a fuck. Everyone sits down and pee.
You're peeing like woman now.
Yeah, and at first you're like, no, you're not. And then every next you're like, yeah, you are. Because you have to clean that shit. Like,
you do.
Fucking, you got to piss goes everywhere.
When the TI said, who wants to be the latrine leader? And nobody wanted to raise their hand. And then he called on this country boy guy, and I forgot his name, but they called him the latrine queen. Yeah. But I was part of his detail. I was like, fuck it, I'll help him out. Dude, the first time we cleaned that bathroom after everybody was using it normal, we were like, fuck this. The latrine queen was like, fuck, nobody's showering. He's like, if we didn't do PT today and you didn't sweat, go to sleep just the way you are. You ain't fucking showering, because it's a mess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like the whole community shower. They had like 8 stalls, 8 sinks, 8 mirrors. You got to mop the floors, clean the toilet, and of course, motherfuckers were dirty. Motherfuckers pissed, cocky stains and shit like that. And you can't call it. I can't be like, yo, Mike, I know you did this in this fucking toilet. Come clean it. No, that's the latrine detail. You had to fucking do that shit. I remember the first day I was there. So I had to do 0 week twice, because when I got there was no flight for us. So they put us in that one medical dorm where motherfuckers were hurt and everything else, like admin dorm. So once we got a flight, we already completed 1 whole week, but they didn't count it. They were like, now you begin fucking basic training. Well, the first day I was there, because I was going to bed. Once I finished high school, I was going to bed like 5 in the morning, wake up at 3, 4 p.m., over and over and over. Dude, I didn't hear Reveille. I slept right through fucking Reveille. All of a sudden, I feel myself rocking, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I looked up, and there was the TI. Get the fuck up. He's shaking my rack. He's bouncing that shit up and down. And I was like, oh, shit. I get up. The dude looks at me. He goes, you didn't hear the music? I was like, what music? He was like, yo, the music over the fucking speaker, the Reveille. I was like, I didn't hear shit, man. But by the 3rd day, I was way awake before fucking Reveille would play. I was ready to rock and roll, man. But it's funny because now he's going through that. And I wrote him a letter. My brother wrote, we all trying to write the letters, because for me, I loved mail call. Like, you literally will get a huge smile on your face if they said, hey, mail, Aaron Devire, you got mail. I was like, yes. Him, we're trying to tell his friends, like, please, can you write your boy a letter, this and that. And they're staring at me, and I'm like, you motherfuckers don't know how to write a letter. They're like, you got to put the mailing address on the letter. And they're like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, do you know where your address goes in the letter? Do you know where his address goes in the letter? Do you know what's a stamp? Do you know where to get a stamp? Dude, and I think you and I have spoken about the art of conversation. Like, it's dying. And this is proof, because they can't even fucking write a Dear John, how's it going? today I did this. Last night was dude. They don't even understand that concept because they're so used to text.
Yep.
Get on Messenger, get on WhatsApp, get on social media, do this, do that. But dude, I was shocked. I was like, come on, guys, like. You really don't know how to fucking write a letter, dude? Like, you know you can mail things out besides just normal fucking boxes and things like that. Like, he needs... And I told him, I was like, it's uplifting for him. Because he's been put in a place where he's just meeting everyone for the first time. And for some people, that's hard, you know what I'm saying? Because they're introverts. They don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to socialize. So for you to, like, get up and be like, yo, my name is so-and-so, you don't know if that other person's going to leave. Be like, I don't care. Like, don't talk to me. You know, but it's good when he hears how everything else is going from the home that he left. It's uplifting. I used to like when my friends used to write to me and everything else, you know, seeing how everything was going. But, yo, these kids, I was cracking up, though, man. Because all the parents are like, you don't know how to fucking write a letter? They're like, a letter? We can't call him? That was one thing they said. We can't call him? He can't call us? And we're like, there is no cell phone. Like, he has no technology down there. Like, it's not allowed. Unless, you know, that one phone call as you get progress through the weeks. I was like, he needs letters. He needs for you guys to really send him letters. If you're his boy, you're going to send your boy some fucking letters. It was like prison. You're going to send your boy some fucking letters, man. But the art of conversation is dead. It died. It really is. And it's just going to get worse. Like my 1-year-old niece, when she gets older, she's not going to know at all what the fuck a letter is. They'd be like, what? That's ancient time. That's caveman times. Yeah. What the fuck is a letter? You know?
Especially like, you know, like we did like, you know, cards. And so I wrote them in cursive. Yeah. And it's kind of funny. It's like only certain people are going to like know how to write in cursive because there are a lot of people who don't even know how to even to A, begin with it. And two, like kind of like what that means. Like if you wrote it in cursive, you took your time. It's like those are special. Like it kind of it dates you for sure, but it also it's like it's a really weird one, but it helps like kind of bridge the gap between a lot of the older generation that are 70, 80 and 30s and 40s because we're like really the last generation that really knows how to what writing in cursive is, making your name really nice and like you know letting them know like, oh wow, you know how to write in cursive. Like yeah, it's just you know it's one of those weird ones like. But yeah, I think conversation's gone in a sense. But as far as like how to talk to like a lot of people without really like showing your face, they can kill it all day. Yeah. But when it comes to like, hey man, like let's have a conversation. You're talking to them, you're like, yeah, you're dumb as fuck, man. Like you know, like and it's you're dumb as fuck because you're young, right? You're dumb as fuck because you're young.
Yeah.
And it's like the only time you have something interesting is like if you ever meet people and you're like, oh, they're really interesting. It's just because you just read a lot or you've been all over the place, right? Like that's the only reason why. It's not because you're gifted. It's because you just have more to talk about. But you see some people and you're just like, you've never left anything, do you? You don't know anything. You're like, no, really? Like, never been curious? Like, no, I'm kind of just been chilling. Okay. All right, man. Well,
and this is how crazy it is. So I wrote him a letter. Okay, if I write you a letter, the response is Mike is going to write Israel a letter back to answer whatever questions he had for me in the letter. This motherfucker puts me and his dad in one letter. And then he puts in parentheses, have Theo read this letter because it's also for him. I was like, you cheap motherfucker, man. I know you got stamps. I know you got envelopes. And I know you got fucking paper to where I deserve my own fucking letter. Like, why are you putting me in with your pops? Yeah. Like, it should be two sides. One for your dad, you know, be meaningful, and then one for me to be meaningful too. If I write you a fucking letter, it's for you to respond back with a fucking letter to me. Yeah. And the letter and the mailing address says this: Israel Edward de Valle, 3315, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this motherfucker. So his dad would be like, yo, did Eddie write a letter? I'm like, yeah, he wrote a letter for both of us in one fucking letter. And it's simple. Like, I'm getting yelled at, period. The other kids are fucking up, period. The food sucks, period. And I'm like, wow, man. This like is one terrible.
Of the ones where, I don't know, like, you know, since I don't have no boys, you know, I only have girls. I don't know. But if I did have a boy, I could probably play this joke a little bit more or something like that where, you know, I don't have no, like, nephews or anything like that. But I think if it was something like that, knowing what I've been through, and that was my response, I might draw a dick and just send it back to him, you know? Because you know, like, eventually someone's going to see this shit, and then that's going to make you get so much more trouble. It would be hilarious, right? Like, and only, like, you could appreciate it. Because you know, if you're like got a letter, you're like, "What is this?" And T.I.'s like, "What are you looking at?" And be like, "What the fuck is this dick doing here?" They would just tear you a new one. Because You know, I remember like you'd have a picture, like your girlfriend would send you a picture, and they'd be like, "Oh, she's sexy." And you'd be like, "What the fuck?" And you'd be like, "Oh,
yeah.
you know what I mean?" And like you're just what are you gonna do? You just gotta take it. I think the best thing about like some of the movies where you see them, you know, like Full Metal Jacket, it's like the most comical movie in the world because it's so like you're just like that's how it is. You know, like you do something stupid. And the guy's like, go to every locker and you're going to introduce yourself to every locker. And so the guy's like, you know, 20 minutes later saying, hi, my name is so-and-so. You're just like it's comical. It's only, you know what I mean? It's comical because they're making you do some of the dumbest shit in the world, you know?
Like, even right now, people are like, can I send them a care package? And I'm like, yeah, put cookies, put cakes, put fucking all that stuff in there. Because when that drill instructor opens that box, he's fucked, man.
Yeah.
But I find it funny because I've seen it done. You know,
Yeah.
I've seen people get yelled up and shit like that. My sister was like, oh, what can I send? I said, oh, get him the new Chips Ahoy. Get him the chocolate ho-ho cakes. Send him all that shit. And fucking let him deal with it.
Yeah.
Since he wants to write me on the same letter as his fucking dad. Fuck his Mitch ass. No more letters for him.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's only like one where you'd be like, you know what? I know how to get you in trouble. Let me go and just set you up. And that's another lesson to learn is how to be set up. Where your people are like, oh, dude, this dude got me up. Like, no, he didn't. He only did it because he knows. So he'll be like, no, I'm taking all your shit. And you're like, God damn it. Like, did I just get a box and now all my cookies are over there? It's like, yeah.
And you know the TI would take that shit real easily,
like,
bro.
it's gone.
Real easily.
Yeah, right in front of you, and you're just looking
and
at it.
Eat it right in front. Eat it right in front, and be like, damn, these. As a matter of fact, let me share it. Let me give you a cookie. And they'd be like, eat it. And they'll look at him and be like, fuck, this shit is good. And he'll just have to take it. Yeah. You want to be squad leader? Take it. Take these Chips Ahoy. I'm eating all of them.
I think one of the things, though, it really does teach you is, honestly, and I think that's what, like, a lot of the problem is with a lot of the world, actually, is you're not special. All y'all look the same. All y'all act the same. You're all fucking idiots. I don't care. Because the thing, though, too, is, like, even if you're some kind of leadership in boot camp, you're fired. Hey, you're up next. You're like, oh, shit, what? That quick. You're gone. Nobody cares about you no more.
Revolving door, dude. Yep. Revolving door.
And I think that's crazy because some people, like, you get some people like dorm cheese or, you know, those, like, higher things, and they think they're the shit. They fuck up. You're fired. Get out of here. Hey, Johnny, you're in. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, what? And it's just like, hey, he's in charge now. And it's like, you know what I mean? And I think that's very imperative because there's some, you know, like, the way I look at myself, and I might be incorrect, but, you know, like for work and stuff like that, I look at myself as a resource, right? As a tool, because that's what I've been taught as, like, you provide a resource, you provide this to your team, you provide this kind of tool or whatever, that's what you are. And so, like, sometimes when I work with people that are not, like, prior military, they have a hard time understanding the concept of, like, hey, Johnny's fucking up, man. Well, he's bringing no value into it. He's not a good resource. We got to let him go. Yeah. It's not personal, right? Because my opinion is, it's like, the team or whatever mission I'm on is the most important thing. I myself am not important. I don't care because I've been told that. Like, I literally been told you're not shit to me. You know what I mean? Like, we've been told that. And so I think a lot of times people have a hard time of really taking themselves out of the equation and be like, I don't really matter. I'm just a gear in the cog or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, man. It really is. Like you said, it's just comical because of everything he's going through. Since there, done it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny just to see because we were prepping him, dude. We were prepping you since junior, senior year. We've been telling because you knew you were going to the Navy. There was no questions about it. Like that was already determined for you. But dude, we were prepping you. We were telling you, and all you kept doing. Yeah, I know. Okay. All right, you know. And now, look, we read the letters. I hate the food. They keep yelling at me. They keep doing that. I'm just like, suck it up, man. Yeah. And plus, he graduates next month, which we're going. So I told myself, because, you know, I could get in to the base. I told myself, I said, I'm going to drop him in his uniform. Just going to fucking take him, slam him on the ground, and just fucking start slapping him around in front of all his fucking seamen. But I don't give a fuck. What they going to do to me? Oh, you can't? You got to leave the base? You crazy. Well, I'm just going to fucking tear him up. Tear him up in front of all
Today, of them. A retired Air Force veteran is in jail for assaulting a military person. I'll be like, well.
I'll be like, yo, it's my nephew, his family. Don't worry about it. Mind your business. Nah, but I want to, like, chew him out. Like, because, you know, when I came out of base, like, I was real, yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, man, no, man. Like, real fucking gung-ho. So I want to see that. And I want to tear his ass up. Just chew him out in front of everybody.
Yeah. I think it's crazy. Like I said, you know, like, Shit, man, it's been over a decade. You know, we're almost on 20 years of going to like when I went to boot camp, and
Yeah.
you know, some of those things still stay with me. I think that's what's really important. I think like getting chewed out, kind of like you're nobody. Like I remember my first day there, somebody was like, "The fuck you looking at?" You're like, "Oh shit!" Like I don't know, you know what I mean? Like you're like, you know, it's kind of that thing where you're not really that important, but that lesson of like, hey, you can bring a couple people together and you'll have a common situation, y'all can figure it out, and just start really understanding like just work, man.
Yeah.
Like just go there, you're gonna get chewed out. You get some thick skin, and just kind of knowing like people. Man, I think Ti say I've had some really hard shit said to me because they can't get in trouble for it in a sense, or that's kind of their job, and so they do those things. They say those things to you to kind of get you at your core, but it's for a reason. Like you need to be tougher, right? Like there's gonna be some things you're gonna go through, and like one of the best ones for me. This one I think is it really defined my life in a sense, right? So I was thinking about this actually this week, which is funny. Like a lot of things I've thought about, we've already talked about. So I remember, I think right before I went to basic, it was like midnight. I'm working out at Gold's Gym. So this is like, right before I go to basic, and I'm bench pressing, right? So I'm trying to get ready for boot camp. I have 2 tins and the bar. It falls on me. I had to like squirm out of there because I was just that weak, right? Like just that weak, just was not possible. And what I mean, so I was a very weak person. Like I played tennis in high school, but like my last senior year, I didn't do any of that shit. So I was not really in shape at all. I wasn't prepared or any of those things. And so I remember, it's basic, and you remember like what is it, like Beasts, whatever it is, or whatever.
Yeah,
fucking,
the Beast Week,
there you go.
Warrior Week, or whatever
shit is now. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, we had that obstacle course. Well, for me, that was the biggest. That to me at that moment in my life, that was the hardest thing I ever did because I've never done those things. I never, rappelled down a rock. I never like glided over that. I've never had that thing. So, to me, to be able to do it that day was kind of like, it really did change my life in a sense because now, like, now I have a lot of confidence in myself because I honestly don't know what I'm capable of, and it's all due to the fact of, we're in basic, and you're like, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know I could finish. I didn't know I could do this when I didn't know this and that. And so from now on, like ever since that day where I've always kind of looked at it sitting there saying like, I honestly, truly don't know what I'm capable of doing, but I'm going to find out. Like I'm going to keep going because you never fucking know what you are and not capable of.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like you had to grow up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and me coming from Brooklyn where the mindset was the streets, hanging out and all that stuff. Like I couldn't bring that slang into there. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't bring that fucking attitude of like, I'm fucking hard, I'm tough or whatever. Like, you really had to mature. And just like this. And I loved that I was able to create bonds with the people there. Like, I made some really good friendships out of it. You know what I'm saying? Where it really showed us to be a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really did look out for one another. We really tried to make sure the dorm chief didn't get fired. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the dorm chief told us to do this, we got it. We looked at the dorm chief like if he was a TI because just of the person he was, the person we got to know, everybody just had respect for each other. It was never any animosity. I never felt that any animosity. Like, no one ever thought they were better than anybody else. And when we went out, when we did Warrior Week or whatnot, you compete against the other flights. Dude, we were like, really like, yo, we're gonna kick everybody's ass here. Like we were that so in the zone that we were like, our flight is just gonna school everybody because that's just the bond, the brotherhood that we had with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it really was like my childhood friends growing up. And this is just me meeting them that 1 or 2 days there and then knowing this is who you're gonna be with for the whole 8 weeks, 6 weeks that you're in basic training for. You know what I'm saying? But it really made me mature. Like you had to. You couldn't be like, okay, whatever, yeah. Like, your terminology had to change. Your whole fucking mindset had to change. Like, you had to be an adult and a professional. You know what I'm saying? Because it really did set you up when you got to your first base. Because when I got to my first base, I was still with the sirs, the ma'ams. If I saw, 2 stripes, 3 stripes, whatever you need me to do, I got it. You need me to clean the bathroom, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was still, my mindset coming. Now all that shit has changed. All that shit is now is too much of a corporation now. I'm sure that if I see my nephew, he's gonna be still, yes sir, no ma'am type thing, but he's still gonna be more relaxed. You know what I'm saying? And then especially when I heard like I forgot what year it was, they were doing timeout cards because the TIs they felt were too fucking stern on them. They didn't want them yelling at them and everything. I'm just like, this is nonsense, man. Like he's not hitting you. he's not beating your ass or anything. You know, he's trying to teach you the tools and everything to prepare you for when you get the fuck out of basic training and you continue on. That you need that thick skin. You need to be prepared for everybody else because you're going to be dealing with E7s, E8s, E9s coming at you left and right. You know, they're trying to prepare you for all that stuff. But I really did like basic training just for that. Like we really had a brotherhood, man. Like, and you know, and we were interested in everything. Like we had different religions. You know, I had people that were Wicca. I never knew what Wicca was, and I never once thought like, oh, that religion is bullshit because my upbringing was Pentecostal. So I don't know what. And dude, a lot of us were Baptist, Christian, Pentecostal, and we would listen to it like, oh, what's Wicca? You know, we're just interested. You know what I'm saying? We never ostracized anybody for anything, no matter if you were white, Chinese, black. Like, we just saw you as Airman Mendez, Airman Devalle. That's all that it was, because we were all in this together, you know? And it really was, once you put the uniform on, like, we were just in it because we were in the same flight, and we were all wearing the same thing. And we never wanted to see nobody get washed back. We never wanted to see nobody fucking fail. Like, if you were having trouble, like, because, you know, during open ranks, they used to ask you questions like, oh, who was the first Chief Master Sergeant in the Air Force? And some people would fumble. Like, they would not remember the material or anything like that. So when we knew who were the ones that were hurting, dude, we would have study sessions. And we would study each other, you know, try to get everybody prepared. Because, you know, plus we were trying to do honor flight and everything. So that was like a goal. Like, we were trying to reach that goal. So we helped everybody. We made sure the uniforms were right. Like, we would do open ranks with each other. The dorm chief would do it to us. And, you know, again, everybody respected each other. Even though he's dealing with, like, oh, these fucking kids are acting up, we never had that. And if we did had a kid acting up, all of us would talk to that kid. You know, like, we'll try to be like, hey, man, we're here to help you. Not like, damn, motherfucker, you fucking shit up for us. Like, quit. It was never negative. It was always like, how can we help you, man? What can we do to change what you need to change? Because we want to see you graduate with us. We want you to finish with us. We don't want you to get washed back. And, you know, that maturity helped me. It definitely helped prepare me when I got to Germany and every other place. That really helped. And when I turned into a supervisor, that helped me too, because I was able to relate. I was able to relate to these E1s, E2s that were struggling or look confused or deer in the headlights, like, oh shit, this is new. Why is this E7 talking to me? Like, I've been there, done it. So that helped me to reciprocate all of that to them as well.